I think we've all known someone who's in a relationship and suddenly their whole world revolves around their partner. I mean, they won't even take your phone calls no more. You know, they always together. They like the same things. They have the same opinions. Well, I was reading an article that says that behavior isn't necessarily love, that type of behavior. It could be a sign that one of the partners has lost their sense of self just to keep the other one happy. So, what do you ladies think about people who lose their identity once they have partnered up? Very interesting.
And we're talking about losing the qualities that make them, right? Because
Yes.
sometimes, like, there's things I want to lose. There's things about my,
Like
that I
what?
needed to
What's your
change.
list?
Pre-Jesus Jeannie was a lot. And I'm so happy that now I've shed those things to just kind of, because I've adopted much more of a legal life. Like I actually, I used to just get in trouble a lot and I didn't need that. So I don't mind that. But I do know friends that have changed so much that you're like, you're different. You're not even fun anymore.
Yes, or they don't do the things they used to do.
The sign I
Because-
think that tells you that they've coupled up with somebody that might be dangerous for them in that sense is that they ask that person for permission for everything.
Oh, that's
Right?
not healthy
They say
at all.
signs that the signs that you have lost your identity in your relationship.
Yeah.
You seek his approval for everything. You use we more than you use I. Your social life is an epic fail. And lastly, you let him have his way most of the time, if not all of the
Not
time.
an epic fail.
How's your social life an
Yeah.
epic fail?
Meaning you don't have
Because
one.
you don't go anywhere. You don't.
Yeah,
You
like,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all know girls like that. You know, who when they get with someone, all of a sudden they're dressing differently. They almost become his identity, right?
Yes.
But I know for me, there was a point in my a relationship that I was in where I felt like I deferred to him for advice, and if he said the sky was blue and I could see that it was a gray day, I'd go, oh yeah, I could see it's blue. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, because there was something about him that I put on a pedestal, and I felt like I ended up giving my power away.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, go ahead.
You know who I think, and I love her.
Yeah.
And I think she lost her identity.
Who?
And I love them. Megan and what was her husband's name?
Devon.
Devon Franklin.
Oh.
I think that to me is an example of this. She was very vivacious, sexy, and I think once she married him, because of who he was as a pastor, there were thoughts of, okay, well, now you have to tone down your dressing, and you have to look at the parts that you go for. So I think in that, and the only reason why I'm saying this is now that they're divorced or divorcing, she's back to being Megan. I mean,
Really?
She put out a post. And it was just beautiful. Really? It was like, it was her in a bathing suit, and it was her in different outfits, and it's like the whole, like, everybody on the timeline was just celebrating like she has come back to us. I mean, and that's the feeling that I'm getting when we're talking about being a woman where you can stand in who you are, still be you, but then you have that respect of your partner too.
Right.
So,
I feel like the greatest relationships are the one where you become more yourself than you've ever been before. Like you actually become more of you. And I love it because when I first got with Israel, I remember literally my mom and my aunt having like a super emo moment with him and them saying, thank you for bringing our girl back. Like literally, thank you for bringing back the silly, fun-loving girl that we knew for her to be a family. Like it was actually, I didn't know something had happened to me. I didn't know it. I didn't know that I had become this harder version of myself, this colder. I had no idea. So to hear that and to see my mom and my aunt so emotional, I was like, what was wrong?
Could you look back and now, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Now can you look back and see that you were different?
I can. Jeannie and I have had conversations about it too.
Adrian is a totally different, more like light and full and loving and affectionate and touchy-feely person. And what's weird is I spiritually connected with Aid like in the beginning, but there was a New York cold like a toughness, which is still there. but she's warm and loving and like empathetic.
Maybe it was a
and-
defense thing.
I think so. I think life can harden you up, and that's the reality. I think sometimes relationships can be so hard that you feel like, man, if the person I'm in a relationship doesn't show me love like that, and I can't be that way with him, how can I be like that with you?
Right.
But I think a lot of times too, some people get into relationships because they think that that's what's going to keep that person, and it's going to make them happy.
They have to mold into who they believe that person wants them to
Right, and what they're saying is, if you don't feel happy, like if you want to go out on your own, you know, like when I date James, I like going to the symphony. I like it. I don't think it's whack. Well, I was dating guys that was like, you know, that's whack. It's boring. It's this. It's like, no, you could just listen to the music, go sleep, have a good time.
Right.
But that was like, so I stopped going to the symphony, and this was when I was younger.
So
and it's like, don't stop if it's something that you want to do. And then my thing is, some people say, oh, well, you can go on your own. Why?
You want to enjoy it with the person that you're with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, like being able to still enjoy your life and have your partner with you and not lose you. The
I
identity.
have to say, if you are with somebody that genuinely loves you, they will be so interested and so intrigued by the things that you are passionate about.
Right.
So I think that's important too. Don't feel like you have to change. And it doesn't have to be that it's something they love too. Maybe James don't love the symphony. But hearing you be so passionate about it, you would think, if I'm so into you, I'm into the things that interest you. I'm just curious, well, what is she into? What is she like? What is she about? You know, pay attention to those things. It's so important.
Very much
Yes,
so.
do not lose your identity, ladies. Please don't. And men too, actually, and men too.